should have gone after the World Cup. He should have gone after failing to qualify for Euro 2024. He's still there now, and we go on to draw 0-0 with 203rd in the world Gibraltar. Your tactics are killing this football nation. So guys, what's going on? Curtis Evans here, back in with a brand new video on this channel. Bit of a different video now, where I'm going to be talking about international football for once. And it's the situation right now regarding Wales football, because what it is, it's an absolute disgrace. So as you know, Wales are currently going on a downfall right now. We've seen the rise from 2014 until 2022, where now we are on the downward trend. And it's really sad to see, because we're currently dealing with a manager that is poor with his tactics. He's got rubbish tactics, and a chief executive who is being too lazy to get rid of him. I feel like I need to make this video to express my feelings of Rob Page and how we've been run by Noel Mooney, especially after that embarrassment of a draw against Gibraltar, who are 203rd in the world and the size of Port Talbot. It's an absolute disgrace that was last night. More than a disgrace, more than an embarrassment. Literally hang your heads in shame worthy. The players, well, they're the ones who are responsible for the way they play. They've got to take responsibility somehow for the way they play, but it's not their fault really. Like, we did play some of the players that don't really make appearances in the Wales squad, but we should still be doing enough with League 1, League 2 players against a Gibraltar side who lack experience in football. Because Rob Page is making his team look like non-league players. And on paper, we should be qualifying more regularly. We've been qualifying regularly more recently. We qualified since 2014, 3 out of 4 major tournaments, missing out on a 2018 World Cup in Russia. Like, we peaked at this time under Chris Coleman. It just makes me want to cry now where we are now. And if you think the times we played our home games at the Principality Stadium or the Millennium Stadium was bad enough, this is even darker. We're heading back into those dark times again. Like, when Gary Speed took over, he gave us all hope. And I think under Gary Speed, well, obviously Chris Coleman took over after his death, we would have qualified a lot under him, I reckon. Because he's the one that started the rise of Wales football. And then when Chris Coleman took over after his death, we failed to qualify for the World Cup in 2014, although things took time at first. But then, when things weren't going right, he realised and he made us believe again. And then we qualified for Euro 2016 France. We made the semi-finals. Euro 2016 seems so long ago now. And like, what a football nation we used to be. We were very close to qualifying for the 2018 World Cup, only to miss out on the playoffs to Republic of Ireland at the James McLean strike, which proved Ireland to make the playoffs while we failed to qualify. But that didn't cost us. What cost us was that draw to Georgia. And I thought that was bad at first, but you're going to hear worse. After the World Cup 2018 qualifiers, after failing to qualify, Chris Coleman resigned. I think his contract was up anyway in the summer 2018, we might have left regardless. But after he left for Sunderland, Chris Coleman, we had to search for a new manager. We appointed Ryan Giggs, who lacked experience, so it was a bit of a questionable appointment. He is a Wales legend, mind, so he knows a bit about it. We had a very good start under him, 4-1 win against the Republic of Ireland, who we revenged after the World Cup qualifiers. We even beat them twice. Also, we beat them in Dublin as well, but we lost to Denmark twice. Then we had the Euro 2020 qualifiers, or even Euro 2021, because that's when it was played. We qualified, and that was under Ryan Giggs. Something wasn't right at first, where he lost to Croatia and Hungary. I thought we weren't going to do it. But then he realised something was wrong, and look at that. We qualified. He changed the mentality. And also the Nations League, where we were unbeaten, won all our games apart from one where we drew 0-0 to the Republic of Ireland in Dublin. Well, Republic of Ireland again, we played Republic of Ireland often. Ryan Giggs started it, and Rob Page finished it. Rob Page was Ryan Giggs' assistant, and he failed at Northampton and Port Vale. Euro 2020 or 2021 when it was played, we finished second in our group, beat Turkey 2-0, drew with Switzerland, lost to Italy, and then we get embarrassed by Denmark in the round of 16, where we lost 4-0. Even though Rob Page was in charge, Giggs was technically still in charge. He was temporary manager. And then we move on to the World Cup qualifiers. Well, the World Cup qualifiers actually started before the Euro started because of COVID. Slow start, we lost 3-1 to Belgium. Then we responded by beating the Czech Republic 1-0. And that proves to be our only loss. Although, in that qualification campaign, under Rob Page, we only scraped a win against Belarus thanks to a Gareth Bale hat-trick. We could have lost that if it weren't for Gareth Bale. And not just that, we drew 0-0 with Estonia. Estonia, for crying out loud. And that's despite the fact we had Gareth Bale that game. Rob Page was relying on big players like Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. And by the time we reached the 2022 World Cup, they were past it by then because they were lacking game time for their clubs. I mean, we got to the playoffs. We beat Austria 2-1, where we played pretty well. Obviously, Gareth Bale, of course, scored both of them. And Ukraine, we only scraped it 1-0. It was thanks to a Gareth Bale free kick. But other than that, we were terrible. We did very well defensively. Like, if it weren't for the likes of Ben Davies and Wayne Hennessy in goal, we would have lost that game. Simple as that. The defence scores a qualification for the last World Cup, and Gareth Bale. He's basically relied on players because his tactics were absolutely awful that game. And then we go and talk to the World Cup now. So obviously the World Cup was our last of the golden era or the glory days. But we were shocking. We actually played shocking in the World Cup. It was our first World Cup since 1958. And we go on to perform absolutely tripe. And we only turned up for 145 minutes. Second half against the USA, 1-1 draw. And guess who scored a goal? Gareth Bale. Yes, it was from the penalty spot. We didn't score from open play. Our only goal was from the spot kick. Because other than that, we were poor. Especially the Iran game. Don't get me started on Iran now. Because after that 2-0 loss to them, which absolutely shocked the hell out of me. I mean, Iran deserved it that game. We were absolutely shocking. 2 injury time goals, which is a proper real killer. But can't say they didn't deserve it though, because they did. And we knew by the time we lost to Iran, the dark days were coming back. And then we go on to get battered by England 3-0, our neighbours. In our first World Cup since 1958, I was expecting us to do really well. And that group we had is favourable to make the knockouts. I think if we had the right manager, we would have made the knockouts. I mean, the players, as I said earlier, they're responsible for the way they play. But it wasn't their fault. It was Rob Page's fault on why we did so poor at the World Cup. And I think this is where he should have been sacked. Then we talk about Euro 2024 qualifiers. Croatia, Turkey, Armenia and Latvia in our group. We started off brightly by getting a win against Latvia and a draw against Croatia. Well, Croatia, we actually took 4 points off them because we beat Croatia at home. And after beating Croatia, I thought we were going to do it. 3rd straight European Championship. Because that's the only game, well, that Croatia game at home where we won 2-1, that's the only time Page has his tactics spot on. Other than that, they were absolutely awful, even against Latvia as well. We grinded out a 1-0 against Latvia. And also, Latvia, away, we nearly won it 1-0 thanks to a penalty spot. But then David Brooks went on to finish the game off. Because that's not good enough in my opinion. But this is what were the ones we need to look back on why you failed to qualify for Euro 2024. The 2 games we had against Armenia. And we only took 1 point off Armenia. 1. And that the one we really need to look back on the most is one at home. 4-2 loss. Where we got humiliated by 97th in the world. My God, don't get me started on that one. There were some shocking individual performances. And there were shocking tactics from Rob Page. The players and manager had to take responsibility for that one. And also, we only took a point with them away. But we didn't even perform. We struggled to pass the ball. We let Armenia attack all the time. And in terms of attacking, we're literally afraid to attack. Turkey away lost 2-0. Could have got a draw against them, to be honest with you, if we turned up. But at home, we were robbed. And that could have potentially cost us a Euro 2024 place if we got the right results. But we talk about the playoffs. 4-1 win against Finland. Page had his tactics spot on. I thought we're going to do it now again. Just like I was saying with Croatia, I think we're going to do it now after that 4 win against Finland. Against Poland, we're very capable of beating them, especially with the squad we got. But no, against Poland, we did very well. Nothing against the players, but some of his tactics were awful. Dan James is not to blame for failing to qualify. It's Rob Page and his tripe tactics. That's what caused us failure to qualify for Euro 2024. Not Dan James. Dan James did well to step up to take a penalty. He was brave enough. For me, failing to qualify for Euro 2024 is an absolute disaster and an absolute failure, especially with the group we had. Like, The Poland game, as I was saying, did not cost us. The 2 Armenian games did. Like, that is an absolute embarrassment that we couldn't beat Armenia. And now, after failing to qualify for Euro 2024, we was decided that Page would be kept on. Why on earth are you keeping Rob Page? He should have gone after the World Cup. He should have gone after failing to qualify for Euro 2024. He's still there now. And we go on to draw 0-0 with 203rd in world Gibraltar, which is an absolute disgrace. Some of you are probably saying, oh no, it's just a friendly and players lack experience. It's all about trying new players. No, it's not good enough drawing with Gibraltar. It's hang your heads in shame worthy. Because League 1, League 2 players should be doing enough to beat Gibraltar, who lack experience. And also, Rob Page's tactics were absolutely spineless that game. Not the first time that his tactics have been spineless. They've been spineless for the past 2-3 years. And Rob Page, you sound like a nice bloke, yes, but your tactics are killing this football nation. It's not the players, it's you that's killing it. And Noel Mooney, you are killing it too. Some of you English are bound to be watching, aren't you? But a lot of you are going like, oh, Southgate is not good enough. What is he doing? What is a team Southgate puts out? We're so boring under Gareth Southgate. No, you've got far better players than us. You've got Jude Bellingham, who is absolutely unbelievable in midfield. He's just won a Champions League at Real Madrid first season. He's won La Liga in his first season at Real Madrid. You've got the likes of Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer. Look at the attack you've got. You've got Declan Rice, Kobe Mainoo, etc. The list goes on. You've got better players than us. And even your B and C teams are Premier League players. They're playing week in, week out for their clubs. So you can't moan about anything. And you're one of the favourites to win the tournament coming up now. You just don't even realise how angry I am, especially after yesterday. I'm still very angry after yesterday, to be honest with you. Every single right. And Noel Mooney, in case you don't know, you're glad that this game wasn't played in Cardiff last night, because there would have been riots if that game was played in Cardiff last night. Or even Wrexham, or even Swansea, or even Newport. If we played that game on our own turf, there would have been riots. And there were fans who made the trip to Portugal to watch the game, about 900 of them. A lot of them booed, a lot of them we want Page out. I respect you, well done for doing that. But if you didn't boo, why didn't you boo? Because you should have done. Wales games are known for good atmospheres. It's going to turn toxic now if you don't pull the trigger, Noel Mooney. Because at this rate, you want to hear boos after every game, don't you? And if we play poor, don't change the way we play. And if we go 1-0 down, it's going to get toxic until the final whistle. And I'd certainly be booing as well. Thing is, I don't like coming to games to boo the team. The team has to be backed until the final whistle. But if Rob Page continues with his poor tactics and look in his team, look spineless, and look like non-league players, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get boos for most of the game. And some of you may say, if you're going to boo, don't bother coming. No, I'll boo if I want to boo. Got every single right. This is my football nation. We shouldn't be going on like this. And also, same for club as well. If your club is doing as bad, unlike the expected, then every single right to boo. But if they play well and still lose a game, I'd give them a free pass. But it's different with international football. If it's against a nation we should be beating, then still boo, probably. Croatia or a team slightly better than us, for example, beat us, free pass, no matter what. But that's unless we play poor. Because we've got to put up a fight against those sort of teams. Because England, in the World Cup, I thought we were going to put up a fight. But we didn't. So yeah, we did poor at the 2022 World Cup because of him. We didn't qualify for Euro 2024 because of him. And that Gibraltar draw, which is more than an embarrassment, mainly because of him. The players, especially the attackers, were afraid to attack. We didn't even threaten at all. Rob Page is the one that tells the players what to do. And for the Swans fans, right, especially, well, it was before my time, but Kevin Cullis, I would like to tell the Wales players what the Swansea City players in 1996 did to Kevin Cullis, where they chucked him out the changing room. This is what the players should be doing to Rob Page in the future if this carries on, because we cannot go on like this at all. Well, adding on to that draw against Gibraltar last night, the football social media lot were having a field day, especially some of the smaller nations, Liechtenstein in particular. Liechtenstein took the mick out of us. They put a picture of someone doing that by a tree by writing a caption, "Do you fancy a game at 1 point? Look, we're getting mocked by teams that are small like Gibraltar. We're literally a laughing stock now. Rob Page and Noel Mooney are making this football nation look like a laughing stock." I honestly can't believe I'm seeing it. And even the Gibraltar admin were taking the mick as well, posting a smirking Steve Carell from his character in The Office. Just look what we've become now. Look what we've become. And managers who've done poor for managing a country have sacked their managers. Ivory Coast, for example. Ivory Coast thought they were out of the Africa Cup of Nations and they hosted it. They were one of the best third place teams. They didn't realise that, sacked their manager, hired someone new, and they won the tournament. Just look at that. Other countries done the same as well. Not so much winning the tournament, but their countries did poor in a qualifying. They sack their manager and hire someone new, and they rise again. Why is Noel Mooney too lazy to sack Rob Page for? Because as I was saying, he should have gone after the World Cup in 2022. He was the reason why we did poor in it. We're honestly a laughing stock of a football nation now. Bunch of clowns. And also, celebrities who are Welsh are being let down by it. Even Ellis James. Ellis James was putting out a good few tweets about yesterday as well, on how embarrassed he is. And even the journalists as well. Journalists, Welsh celebrities, you're letting them all down. Literally, Rob Page and Noel Mooney, you are letting your own country down. So you need to change something as soon as possible. Otherwise, we are not qualifying for the next few tournaments. I'd say you need to take action right now. Because I want us to be at Euro 2028 as it's in UK and Ireland. I want us to be there, and I want us to be at the 2026 World Cup in North America, USA, Canada, Mexico. I want us to be there for the next two tournaments. So you've got to sack him, Noel Mooney. Anyway, Slovakia away on Sunday now for Wales as the next game. We better respond to that 0-0 draw against Gibraltar and show Slovakia who we really are. But realistically, Slovakia will probably beat us 3-0. It's going to end up like this, isn't it? And especially the fact that they're in the Euros as well. They want to impress going to the Euros, where they've got Belgium, Ukraine and Romania in their group. I believe that's the group they're in. But yeah, it's just dark to be a Wales fan at the minute. Rob Page, Noel Mooney, get out of my country, save Wales football. And yeah, if you want to see more content, there'll be Euro 2024 predictions coming up at 1 point next week. Well, obviously, the Euro start next week, Germany, Scotland kicking it off. Somewhere between now and Friday, there'll be Euro 2024 predictions, no matter Wales are in it or not. But yeah, if you want to see more content, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and yeah, Rob Page, get out, peace.